of studying the Vivekachudamani, and after we listen to the words of this great Rishi, this great teacher, we contemplate on it for a whole week. We contemplate it in such a way that it becomes internalized, becomes part of our memory. We will study in the shloka today, and we are able to recall it in the time of great life challenges, dilemmas, existential questions. And they are happening all the time. If I do not know who I am, then I cannot make right decisions even of what to eat, how to relate, how to choose my life partner, how to proceed with unfolding of my life purpose. I am a lost person. And therefore the teachings of great sages are important to us, and in this modern time to go back to them and sit by the shade of wisdom offered by each beautiful shloka is very, very important. And I see how many of you are not even regular students here. Some of you, I don't know your names, but I see you coming back again and again. Why? Because this knowledge is not previewed to just few. This pertains to all of us, and those of us, once we are in touch with this knowledge of Vedanta, all quest ends because it leads to the knowledge of the self. The definition of knowledge of education is ultimately in the Vedic context, in the Gurukul context. Lord Shiva told Parvati that the purpose of education is only one, and it is to illumine the self to us. And satsang is that platform in which we are able to let go of all our external goals, professional goals, domestic goals, and all the avarans, all the coverings that we carry on our pure self, and just pause for a little bit and sit in that space. So this space is called Atma Bodha or Atma Jnana, Atma knowledge, knowledge of the self. And right now we are talking about who is the adhikari for this, who is qualified to receive this knowledge. So in the shlok last time, the discussion was that does qualification to receive this beautiful transformative knowledge depend upon the time period of my life? Does it depend upon where I am located as in physical location? Adhikarina ma shaste phal siddhir visheshatah upaya desha kaladhyah santasyam sahakarinaha. But they say that no, desh and kala, where you are located physically, and the time period of your life and what it is demanding upon you is only sahakarinaha. It is only an auxiliary effect or an auxiliarily influence on your spiritual journey or on your quest. So let no one disqualify you because because you are not born in the holy land of India, you are not born in the holy land of Jerusalem. There is no such thing. You, in fact, the discussion is upon you can even be in any loka, any sphere of existence. Yes, it is good to be on Bhuloka on earth. It is even better to be on Brahma Loka with Lord Brahma himself teaching, the fountainhead of all Vedas, teaching us. But no matter where we are, when the desire to know begins, we have to follow that quest. I did not elaborate last time on this same shloka, so I have come back here rather than going forward, because I was reminded by someone's email that not all 4 ashrams are known by everybody. So in the Vedic journey, which is included in Ayurveda, 4 ashrams have been mentioned. The first ashram is called Brahmacharya ashram. This is the ashram of student life. And typically it goes from young birth to about 25 years of age, young youth, young adult. And typically in the Vedic organization of social spiritual life, Brahmacharya ashram is the time to walk on the path of getting education, doing sadhana, discipline, and not pursuing anything more, not pursuing wine, woman, pleasures, money, ideally. And yes, there was a time, and there still is a time and a place in India at least, where very young relationships, very young industry is not recommended. One is asked to take the first 25 years of one's life as a learning period. And then from 25 onwards, one is recommended to not only just study and sit by the guru and learn, but to go ahead soldier into the deep woods of life and existence. How? How do you get mature through battle? How do you learn your deep abilities to survive, to forgive, to win, but to win the holy way, not the wrong way, by entering the battle of marriage? So one is told to go into Grihastha ashram. That is called the Grihastha ashram. One may not be married. This is not just marriage. It means go into the life of having industry, profession, working, being on the boards of different organizations as in this country nowadays, having your opinion, being a vocal citizen, and specifically creating a home, as in now we have, whether we are single or married, and we pay taxes, right? So we are contributing to society that way. And in the Grihastha ashram, in the Vedic way, until and unless person learns to use their education to become functional members of family, village, society, what use is that education? So we often have PhDs and double PhDs, but we don't get along with our own spouse and sister. We're not on talking terms. Why? Because my PhD was in mechanical engineering, and I think I'll have to do another PhD in relationships, and that is too much. No. All education, if it is truly the Vedic way, then education exposes us to our own pure, infinite essence, and that education we take into Grihastha ashram. And so we are told for 25 years, just consume yourself in relationship or in institutionalized relationship and in earning the money and buying the house and buying a few or in fact a whole truckload of cows and having a farm and starting something with that. Grihastha ashram. What does that have to do with my spiritual journey? So some of our Shruti, some of our textbooks say it is very important. Your spiritual metal is coming through first studentship, but it's very idealistic, You're sitting by your guru and you are learning about life, forgiveness, godliness. Then the guru says, now go. Where? Go get married. We will see how godly you feel. We will see. Go have a relationship. Or go be involved. Go back to your parents' home. Go take care of an aging parent. Go take care of whatever, yourself, in that very high, demanding situation. That is Grihastha ashram. After Grihastha ashram, there is a third ashrama, which is called Vanaprastha ashram. Vanaprastha means departing towards the forest for meditation. But it is not going to the forest. It is saying preparation for the departure. So the third stage of life, in which myself and many people are now in, we are supposed to be living in the urban centers of existence. Urban not as in city, but urban as in the urban city of desires, amidst people, places and objects. And yet we have to prepare as if I am about to go to the forest. You students must learn something and become tomorrow something substantial. You understand? So there is a letting go, there is a gradual retirement from what we had entered to perfect. So this third stage is very important also. According to Ayurveda and according to our Vedic pantheon, this vana means forest, prasthan, going towards, gaman, vana gaman, you are moving towards the forest of spiritual realization, the forest of God realization. You are no longer in the safe, mapped GPS system, urban life that we are leading. Urban as in the urban life of our relationships, our little mapped titles. This we had to do it. This was part of our spiritual journey also. But now we are doing Vanaprastha. So we are living in the same home, but we have given the keys of the locker to the daughter-in-law. We have written the lease, but we have put our children on it. We are giving more charity than buying clothes. When in the Vanaprastha, we don't understand Vanaprastha, then till age 60, 70, one little wrinkle bothers us. We don't want to age. We fight it. But Vanaprastha is the time for developing gradual detachment. And finally, the fourth ashrama is the ashrama of sannyasa or the ashrama of vairagya, where we are living in that same house, but as if we have entered the forest. We get up in the morning, we are unaware of what clothes we have to wear, but we are doing our sadhana, our meditation, our puja. We are at service to the community. We are meditating more and more. We have become quite detached. We are unafraid of death. We know it can come any day, and we are living the life fully, a life of detachment, means non-attachment to the world of Maya. Been there, done that, and now this is my learning. So this is a nice course of moving towards sannyasa, moving towards higher knowledge of the self, moving towards meditation. So one recommendation is go through these three ashramas, and then in the fourth ashram you start. Now this means it is time period bound. But then our Upanishads, our Shruti Shankara points out, he says, but at the same time, the same injunction sub-qualifies it by saying, but even if in Brahmacharya ashram, the desire within you comes to know yourself, then only follow that. So that 3-4 ashram system is for the masses. But there are so many stories of so many people at age, at age 17, Ramana Maharshi sets off to find God, find himself. At young age of 21, my own grandfather, Bade Baba, when he was being swept away in the river, if you read his story, he decides, my whole life is submitted to Jana Kalyan, to the welfare of humanity. And so from that day onwards, he wore simple white clothes, and his whole life was not of accumulation but of giving. Not $1, not 1 rupee he charged. All his life he trusted. So some unique quantum shift. Otherwise 21, 22-year boys are whistling at girls. And that back those days there was no internet, so they would only go and collect outside girls' college or school and whistle. But instead there are great characters. Look at Swami Vivekachudamani, such a young age. His only quest was, I want to know myself, I want to search God. So there are countless examples of great gurus and teachers, very young age, or married. There are many married great these figures who in their गृहस्थ आश्रम, वो बंगाल की कौन सी है, उनकी जो नहीं रामकृष्ण, वो जो बंगाल में एक श्रीमा, long hair, Shrima, she was married, and regular marriage, arranged marriage. She was doing her domestic chores, but her craving for God was so much that in fact earlier her husband misunderstood. Later he became her devotee. He became her support. So in any ashram, but that doesn't mean that the desire for self will convert you into a guru-like person. The expression of the self-knowledge can make you, like I said, a better wife, a better son, a better citizen, a better teacher, a better taxpayer, a better human being. So at any time this knowledge, this desire to know who am I comes, we should not quell it by saying, but after all I'm a mommy. After all I just became pregnant. What do you mean just became pregnant? Doesn't mean anything. It is all the more, the moment that desire comes, we respect that desire. So therefore, which land you are in, which country you are born in, which dimension of existence we are on, so much so the Shruti says, and then what is the social condition of our life, none of this should stop us. These are only secondary conditions. Am I a widower? I am a divorcee. I am a spinster. I am this, I am that. These are all very, very tertiary conditions. So the next shloka. They are continuing to talk about the qualifications. Ato vicharaha kartavyah jignasoratmavastunah samasadhya daya sindhum gurum brahma viduttamam. Therefore, honest inquiry should be done by him who wishes to know the nature of the Atman, the true self, approaching in due form, samasadhya, in due form, in the proper way, with humbleness, earnestness, devotion, the teacher, who is eminent among those who know about the self and who is an ocean of compassion. So, Daya Sindhu means the teacher has been described as one who is an ocean of compassion. What does that mean? Ocean of compassion, it's a, Sanskrit, Mandarji, you can explain more, but it is full of alankar. Alankar ko kya bolenge English mein? Similes, beautiful similes, So an ocean, an ocean has ata. An ocean has no limits. An ocean is so full. An ocean never dries up. An ocean is not budgeted and bargained. An ocean is one which is holding so much, and it may have deep, deep depth within, and yet on the surface it is very calm and glittering and shining, and it is the abode of so much, you see. So the Guru has been described as an ocean of compassion, not a rivulet of compassion, not 5 buckets of compassion, but compassion. Why compassion? Because only the one who has somewhat transcended this Maya-filled, illusion-filled, klesha, misery-filled, asmita, confusion-filled, raga, attachment, crazy obsession-filled, Maya, this, and in which is gripping us all the time. Only the Guru says, oh, I know how you are suffering. I know how this Maya catches you. Yes. In spite of the best intentions, you got confounded. You took this Maya for real. And you started taking these micro, pathetic, miserable decisions that in the end sabotage you. So it says the Guru has been described not as this cryptic, cynical, nowhere in the Vedic tradition, in Shankara's pantheon. The Guru has been described as stern. The Guru has been described in our Vedic tradition as upright. The Guru has been described as the one who scolds. But the Guru has also been described as Daya Sindhu, because a true Guru will have infinite compassion for the Shishya, for the student. Sometimes when we children, when we are born, We are loved so much by our parents, And our life, especially in America, is full of, who's that purple dinosaur? Barney. What's that song? I love you, you love me. Then?
We're a happy family.
We're a happy family with a
Very big.
You love me too. Yes, I love Barney. So, life is so good. We are so cute looking, you see. The same soul, the same Atman, in this small, fresh, new body, it is like a magnet. The same Atman, now purified through knowledge, now transcending because of knowledge of its regrets, but now in a wrinkled body, our own daughter and son don't want to come and help us. It's a reality. It's a reality. We neglect the old one. Yes, Granny. Yes, Grandpa. Yeah. We ignore. We neglect. But the soul has become even more translucent. It is very translucent in body language. It's very translucent in the old man. But we neglect. We become. But the little one attracts us. Similarly, then when we grow and we are a candidate for marriage, we have a good degree, we have a good job. If we are a woman, we look very attractive. If we are a man, we will earn so many K, and we have a 40110 plan, 401k plan. We look very appropriate for marriage. It's a perfect age. People want us. But perhaps now we are in our 40s. We have become better people because of our experience. But now we are not in the market. What a ruthless world. What a ruthless world. Similarly, our own family. When we were cute little baby, our mother and father say, I will do anything for you. They stand all night and they paint the nursery. But when this child becomes a teenager and gives us a hard time, the parent says, get out. Get out. When the same child doesn't pay rent, go out. Ego battles. And when the child doesn't do well in life, sometimes the parents say, you are a burden. And then when the child is doing well, sometimes they say to the parents, you are a burden. These are relationships. Then we go to counselor for it. If the counselor is able to go as a quick fix, we like the counselor. If we don't, the counselor is unable to fix our problem, we do a stop check. Not good counselor. These are the things that happen in life. What happens is, we are broken. Our relationships are ephemeral. Even our parents let us down at times. Relations let us down. When the first flush of the relationship is over, it lets us down. The same job that we were so happy to get, now it is full of like alligators. My boss is an alligator. He wants to eat me up with all my free time. That person in the third cubicle is an alligator. They catch me and they pass on their work to me. So that same job that gave us happiness 2 months ago has become a terrain full of alligators. So now I can't sleep. In all this, the jiva, jiva, our personality, not our true self, it is suffering. It is confused. At that time, they are doing wrong decisions. They are doing wrong judgments, But still, if the teacher is true, compassionate, Daya Sindhu, the teacher will still tell them, this is where you made a strategic error. You sold yourself for Maya. Where are you, my dear? You are lost. Who are you? Why did you come? Why are you fighting so hard to build a house of little, Tili ko kya bolenge? Little little straws. You are trying to win battle in this land of straws that changes by one puff of wind, like those three pigs. Don't do that. Go inside, there is another house. So therefore, there are countless stories of the Guru. They're not ordinary Guru. This is the Guru who has knowledge of Brahman, of the ultimate reality. So it is a Brahmavit. This such a teacher is called a Brahmavit. They are knowledge. It is a very profound teacher, and they have Sthita Prajna. Their pragya, their buddhi is not wavering so much. Student says, I am irritated and confounded by the world. And the teacher says, me too, give me a headache pill, then we'll talk about it. Then it has just become gossip. No. Me too. Let me tell you about what that person did. That is just a conversation. But no matter where the student has been, suffering in the thralls of Maya, lost in the perils of the Jiva, and yet there is one they come to who doesn't judge and says, yep, I know, you went on another long loop of the galaxy in Maya. Are you back? Here is some more information for you. This can come only from a compassionate source. So the teacher is called Daya Sindhu, an ocean of knowledge. The teacher will not reject the sincere student. And Guru, as such, I think the Guru Shabd, this should be made clear. In the Guru Gita also, I have read shloka on its description. As such, Panini also clarified the root sounds of Gu and Ru. And Gu means that which conceals, and which brings about concealment. And Ru word is for that which atones or opens it. So what closes? We say darkness closes us, because when there is darkness, as in physical darkness, we cannot see the physical world, can we? Cannot see. It is concealed where it is flat road, where there is a pit, where there is a little rise, bump, so we can walk carefully. But in darkness, the reality of the physical map and landscape has become concealed. But with the light, it becomes revealed, atoned, opened, clarified. So Guru, similarly, when there is ignorance in the mind, in the chitta, we are in that landscape, but the reality of our true essence has been concealed to us. And we are kings, and we go around being beggars. Full of fear, full of guilt, ready to compromise at the drop of a hat, shaky to tell our truth, always guilty, falling asleep somehow by composing ourselves with medication or food, or sobbing to bed. Why? Because the ignorance of that reality, of the jnana, of the knowledge, Atma Bodha, has been taken away from us. And that is why my teacher Baba said, I don't have to do anything. I have an audience of kings. I just have to remind them, look, you royal king, you royal citizen, you incarnated God, what are you doing here? And people were started having such amazing insights. They go home, Baba goes home. Baba just walks into his room. He's in his home in the courtyard, sitting on his cot. Goes inside, goes to bed, says his lies, night Gayatris. People come back after 2 months, life has changed. Why? Let little bit of perception of their own kingliness. So why? Why? Because as long as we buy into the Maya, as long as we are not shown by a teacher the right way, we continue to believe in the default. And that is why samasadhya means it is the right approach that the student must cultivate. It is not the approach of pathetic, blind slavery to the teacher. The self is one. This is the attitude of I want to know. So who is an adhikari? One who recognizes I need something. But if somebody is full of their flashy gems and their resume is full of all their degrees and they have a couple of islands and a resort and they have a busy life and they're full of themselves, or somebody is pathetically poor and a victim and abused and has a great big history, they're also full of themselves. The poor is full of their poorness, the rich is full of their richness, the unfortunate is full of look at me, I am unfortunate. The fortunate is full of look at me, I am fortunate. They are full. Neither has the right attitude for learning this knowledge, benefiting it from truly. But the one who says, Arre, where was I going? All this tape recorder of my misfortune or fortune, let me leave it aside. Let me say, please teach me, I am ready. That person immediately becomes an adhikari or becomes one who becomes qualified to benefit from this. Here, samasadhya doesn't mean you have to walk on your legs to the teacher, bow. It is an internal understanding that this is a teacher and I am getting that knowledge which will set my inner bird free. And that bird will realize I was not caged anywhere, anyhow. It was only a perception. So we are talking about qualifications. First, I locked my bird up in time and land, my logistical realities. And then I got caught up in the attitude that I had, which was not of true devotion and understanding. And when I meet a teacher who I feel I can benefit from, this should be the attitude. And in 5 minutes I can complete the next shloka also. And I'm more light. Oh, interesting. We really need the guru factor. Medhavi purusho vidvana oha poha vichakshana adhikaryatma vidyaya ukta lakshana lakshitaha. You might wonder how I am reading without glasses and in the dark. Anybody wants to know how? Amalaki with honey at night and lots of eye yoga. Okay. So my eyesight is improving along with Dhatri Lohavati. It's too much computer usage. That means we have to nurture our eyes and revive their jyoti. So they are saying further, the student who is medhavi. Medhavi means one who listens and then is able to retain some of that listening. The one who just listens, gets excited, but all gone. So if some of that retention, it doesn't have to be word by word, but retention of some of that knowledge. And medhavi means one who applies their mind, So what they are trying to say here is that Atma Jnana or knowledge of the self is not something that is to be had just by, like there's no hard work on our part, Just like we do hard work to achieve our PhD in some subject. Just like we have hard work in cooking a good meal and throwing a dinner party. In the same way, certain mental resources are also applied towards self-knowledge, and therefore the more swadhyaya example, for example, I ask you that read these words all over again because they will help you in the retention. So medhavi and then vidwan. Vidwan means one who is not just sitting there consumed with, their own temporary emotions here and there. They are reading Charak Samhita also. They are reading Power of Now also. They are reading Bhagavad Gita also. They are, they are getting exposed. They are studying, they are reading, they are increasing their knowledge base. If Vedas and Vedic knowledge and Vedanta is exciting you, then you are going back and asking for more knowledge. We have a whole shelf of Vedanta. So they are reading from that and they are building their repertory of, knowledge. And uha poha. Uha means they are able to offer positive arguments in favor of something. So when you are about to believe your jiva and go commit a crime against yourself, a pragya aprad, you are able to give positive arguments in favor of why you should not do something. And and poha means negative reasoning can be applied also. And uha poha means a full logical discussion in the mind can take place. Are you understanding? This is how I will respond positively. This is the reality. This is the this is how I'm feeling. But this could be it. Here are the positive reasons for it. This is what it could be. Here are the negative reasons for it. Are you following? So there is, remember in the first shloka itself we said that pumstvam, a slightly masculine, rationalistic attitude is required in the spiritual journey. Just sitting and weeping for God, weeping for angels, weeping to be uplifted, weeping to be saved. Weeping has some glamour added, it feels like it. How soft and sentimental this soul is, but it just leads to puffed eyes and basically disturbed, Agni. So, Ukta Lakshana. Yeah. So basically, one characterized by these aforesaid qualities will become even more beneficiary of this knowledge. So it is not that there is this granth, it has 580 shlokas, and you open the shlok and it just starts with telling you the reality of God and yourself. It begins with telling you how lucky you are to be a human. Hello, wake up. It tells you you are lucky that you want this knowledge and you have a teacher to give you this knowledge. It is telling you what are the basic qualities, like as in having a more rationalistic attitude, having the ability to follow this path of knowledge towards the self, not towards this and that, Vedic Marg Dharma Parata. It tells you how you will need to do Swadhyaya, internalization of the knowledge, so that you can ultimately, the knowledge that the teacher is telling you from the grantha becomes swanubhava, becomes your personal experience, and therefore you will become established in Atma, yourself, and Brahma, and Brahman, the God. You will become one. So this is no longer now about there is a God and one day he or she will give you darshan in yellow dhoti and a peacock flower, and God can give us darshan in any form we want. Any form. Because we now learn to use, we understand, we go into the back end of the universe, God and self. And then we are not so distant from the self and God anymore. But if we just wait to be rescued and to be taught and to be guided, no. We are being told right here and then, if you have the desire to know yourself, don't worry about anything. These qualifications of age, time, place, they are very auxiliary, secondary, they are not important. What is more important is your inner sankalpa, your desire. And secondly, develop. If I had to read this shloka from Baba, Baba would say to me, you have to become more medhavi. You have to learn to retain more, contemplate more, and you have to become a vidwan. One teacher, long ago, 12 years ago, there was another doctor, Mandarji, Ayurveda doctor, BMS doctor, young lady. and she was apprenticing with me for many years. Means we were working together, and I used to give lectures. And she said, I want to give lectures. You tell me which books to read. She asked me. She was a very genuine case. She said, tell me which books to read. I said, now I have no count of the books from this tradition that I have read. I have no count. If you come to my bedroom, you will be surprised. If you see my drawers on the side drawer, it is full of so many granthas and small books and big books and fat books. And my father was looking through my library last year, and he said, you have read every book? Because everything has some mark on it. And when Aparna, I donated 900 books to Vedika when I started this library. 900 books had a mark on it. So I don't buy books, and I don't buy random books. I buy books that are keeping me on the Vedic marg, on the path. Stay focused, get there. God and the self is no longer a dream, a promise. It is a reality. In fact, we are living just a little bit away from the reality, and therefore this path is first laying just the foundations. Find out if you are qualified or not. What is your attitude towards the learning and the getting of this learning? What is our commitment to it? Do we remember it, or is this a feel-good experience? How can we remember it? Should we tape it? Should we listen to it? Can we rethink it? Can we apply it? Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. We have talked about that again and again. And so that ultimately we can gradually within ourselves argue from positive end and negative end, and then take the path of dharma. Nobody will come here. If I am about to do something right for Gopi, Baba won't incarnate here to say, yes, I'm cheerleading for you. Inside me, I have to be able to argue pro, con, and take the right decision. And if I'm able to do something wrong for Divya, nobody will come and hold my hand. But the knowledge from my teacher is inside me, arguing on both ends for what I should do, positively, negatively, and I might do something which is appropriate in the moment, serves the reality of the moment, and yet it serves the ultimate reality of the truth. And this internal ability to talk to ourselves, you remember? Help the self by the self. This has to come within. And so Tataji, my father, always says, he had learned this word very nicely, and he said, you have to be a self-soother. Appadipa bhava. He says, Buddha says, be your own lamp. And it was very irritating when you're 12-year-old and you've not done your homework, you're scared of dealing with your teacher, and you want to curl up with your dad and say, Dad, can you save me? And my father says, Appadipa bhava. Be your own lamp. It didn't help. It felt like he's the meanest father in the world. At least he should do my homework for me to prove that he's the good father. But he would turn over, go to sleep and say, Appadipa bhava. Now I understand. Be your own light. Shine your light on this sorrow. When I used to sob, he would come and say to me, your mind is like a jyoti. You have enough fire in you. He would quote the Shiva Sankalpa and he would say, shine it on the problem. The mind is not ordinary mind. It's divine mind. It is a divine jyoti. Problem is outside. Just look at it quietly, observe it. And the guru factor will operate. The darkness will remove. And the light, the knowledge, what it is to you. And now you have to act, will be self-revealed. Try it. So these are very deep shlokas. They require contemplation. And they require a very deep discussion within ourselves of, are we qualified? The one who is running here and there is not qualified. How about we anchor ourselves in the knowledge and then we do running here and there? But first anchored. And why run? I think I'll walk. Why walk? I think I'll just sit here. Minimal movement outside. Lot of movement inside. How is that? You like that, Francine? Francine likes it. Anybody else? Yes? Jema? So we end here.